Hey Geeks, Mod Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek, Season 2, Episode 25, The Omega Glory. First, before I get into the episode, I want to mention a couple interesting facts that, first, after The Cage, NBC decided to give Gene Roddenberry a second chance, which is actually pretty rare. So he wrote 3 scripts to kind of do a second pilot. One of them was the one that he did end up doing, Where No Man Has Gone Before. The other one was Mudd's Women, which was the first time we saw Harry Mudd, which is back in season 1, so that kind of makes sense. And the third was actually this script. It was The Omega Glory, which I think is kind of interesting that they pushed it back all the way to the end of season 2. So there's that, and then the other interesting fact is Star Trek actually got canceled during the second season, about halfway through. I think I mentioned it when the cast and crew found out. When that happened, the producers, the writers, the actors, everybody just like went out to the fans and said, hey, if you want to save Star Trek, you have to write and let people know. Because Star Trek was canceled, but it didn't really make sense why. Because it was still like the #1 show for the demographic it was aiming for. And it worked. The fans just like overloaded the company with letters and stuff. And it was the first time in history that it was successful. And they decided to give it a season 3. So this episode, which is the second to last episode of season 2, was the episode where they announced that, hey, there will be a next season next fall. So that's kind of an interesting fact. So all of that being said, this episode, The Omega Glory, oh my god, it is a hot mess. Like, it is bad in every sort of way. Now, I understand it's the 60s, and some of these videos have been really difficult for me because I want to kind of keep it a little PC. But yeah, this episode's just like, it's kind of racist and like all sorts of just bad. They use a lot of stuff that they've done before. They're not going where they haven't been before. So Kirk goes to a planet where a starship captain has crash landed and changed the population to fit the way he wants it to be, which we've seen several times now. And it is a planet that has developed exactly like Earth, which is something we've seen before. In this case, they don't say World War II. In fact, I think they say something about World War III in the 90s. But there's an American, what ends up being an American and presumably Chinese or at least Asian war. And but we don't really know that. We just know that there's some sort of conflict between these two people. And then at the end, they've been like garbling different words. And then when finally Kirk saves the savages, hello, bear, they bring out an American flag. And so then finally it kind of clicks what they're doing. And they start reciting this garbled language to the flag. And it's almost like playing Mad Gab, if you guys ever played that. And it ends up being the Pledge of Allegiance. And then later on, like, so there's the white guys, which is the Yangs, and then there's the Asian population, which are the Coms, and it's the Yankees and the communists that are fighting. And it's like, seriously, like, who came up with this? Who thought that this would be a good idea, even in the 60s? And yeah, it's a hot mess. And of course, Kirk fights the other starship captain with the crazy Gorn music, and he ends up winning. And Kirk's like, we're going to set this population right, and everybody's going to get along. And it's bad. It's really, really bad. That being said, the next episode is the last episode of Season 2, Assignment Earth. So hopefully that one's a lot better than this one. I'm hoping we go out on a high note. But yeah, God, this was bad. Have you guys seen it? Like, what do you guys think about Omega Glory? Even the title, like, it's just given, it's bad. It's all sorts of bad. Yeah, if you guys have seen it, let me know what you guys think. But otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for the final episode of season 2.